Big needles for breakfast, dinner and tea, because that's the way this life goes. Hello, my name is Ingrid Wagner and this is Big Crochet. And what I'm going to show you today is to use this big crochet hook if you've never done it before. A little bit different to knitting, where you're working with two needles, two pieces of wood in your hand, one in each hand, and with the crochet hook you're working with just with one in your hand. And it's all to do with stress and tension, as much of everyday life is. And with the crochet hook, what we use is the very basic stitch in crocheting, which is called double crochet. That's what we're going to show you today. And with a double crochet you can make any of these things. So you can make the bag, a small bag or a satchel bag, and you can also make for your home, put your feet up at the end of the day on one of these, or this fabulous big poof which is full of double quills. When I say full of double quills, it's got two double quills in it, and it takes 5 balls of yarn. This poof takes 2 balls of yarn and 2 hours to make, 5 balls of yarn and 5 hours to make, 1 ball of yarn, 1 hour to make, 2 balls of yarn, and guess what? 2 hours to make. Okay, so I'm going to show you the double crochet stitch today and get you started. Alright, so let's get going. Right, one big crochet hook and in fact 2 balls. There we go. 2 balls of yarn to make the poof that we're going to make. It's the same pattern for the big poof as for the little poof. The little poof is what I'm going to show you, and I'm also going to show you the bag. Now you may ask, how are you going to do that in one? Well, I'm going to do that because I am simply going to show you how to do the double crochet stitch, because with big knitting and big crochet we keep everything as simple as possible, and we just use a very, very basic stitch. So 1 row knit, 1 row purl in knitting, and on crochet we use a double crochet. So slip knot to begin with, lie the yarn over your hand, over your left hand if you're right-handed, over your right hand if you're left-handed. Okay, take the long end across your palm, tuck it through, do not cross the palm with silver, but tuck a loop through the piece lying in your hand, take the whole lot off, pull the short end and pull the loop. Whoop, there you go. Alright, you can move that, you see, make it bigger or smaller. Okay, pop that onto your crochet hook. In knitting this is called a stitch, and in crochet it's called what's it called? Stitch and a chain. Well, you know, it's one of those loop things. Stitch and chain. Okay, the big difference between knitting and crochet is that obviously you're working with 1 needle as opposed to 2 pins, and it's in crochet, and different people have got different ways of crocheting, but this is I have found is a good way that works, ladies and gentlemen. So keep the yarn under tension while at the same time allowing it to run through your fingers. Alright, so keep it under tension there. Do not ever let me see those fingers out of shape or that yarn out of shape, okay? And then there's a second tension spot. Held here, you can hold it by your, what's that, 3rd and 4th fingers and your thumb. Hold it there, okay? Alright, so you'll get used to it. Do not panic if you can't do this first time. It took me a whole morning to learn to move from knitting to crochet, but what you're going to do is hook. This is a hook, okay? This is a big hook. So you're going to pop it underneath there, and because you're holding onto there, hook the next chain through. There you go. So you've created a chain, all right? You're keeping that, you're letting it run through, but hold on, tension point here and a tension point here, because when you hook something through, the hook must have something to pull against. Okay, there you go, use it as a hook. So we're going to make 2. We've done it. Okay, now then, if you are going to make a bag, for example, like the one that I showed to you, make as many chains. All right, you know we started off holding there, carry on holding up there. Make as many chains as you want the width of the bag to be. Okay, all right, so just imagine you're making a small bag. Don't worry about these yarns here. It's the warp from the weaving. That's the bits that go like that. So the double crochet stitch, you've made your chains like you make stitches on knitting. Again, hold that under tension and hold the really the length of chains here. Put your hook into the second chain from the hook. So there's your first one that you've already gone into here, second one. So go into the chain, all right, pop the hook underneath there, and you're going to hook it through once. All right, your fingers and thumbs will sort themselves out, don't worry about that. And then round again and again, hook it through. Now half the secret of this is just to keep it loose, because if it's too tight you won't get anywhere. So we strongly advise you to be a loose woman or a loose man to begin with. If you're not, you will suffer the penalties. Okay, it's going through twice. Hook it through. All right, don't let the yarn dictate. You tell it, you're in charge. Okay, now there's your stitch you've already gone through. So remember, you put your hook in, you take the yarn round, hook it through. Keep it nice and big and loose. Round again and pull it through. That's it. Okay, you'll get used to it. Don't worry. It's called a double crochet. Oh, now I think there's a difference in the American and British terms. Because I'm not a, forgive the expression, a dyed-in-the-wool crafts person, I do not know really what the difference is between American and British double crochet. So I am calling this a double crochet, and this is what you need to make the poof or the bag. So if you are doing the bag and just going backwards and forwards, it's not big enough, just make it bigger and go round again. Alright, now for the bag you're going to just do into the end stitch. I want you to do, I think it's 2 into the end stitch, 1, and then go into the same stitch again. Okay, now instead of going back the other way, you're going to go round. Oops, it's come off. I'm brilliant at double crochet because, as you can see, you know, it doesn't vary. We don't do anything else except for double crochet, and it's because of the kind of yarn that we're using, because it's so big, that if you try anything fancy, it just doesn't show up. It's a waste of space, really. So just keep doing the double crochet, and because you'll learn with repetition, that's exactly how it's going to work. All right, so keep going. When you get to the first end, you put another 2 another 2, it's almost like an increase really, 2 into the same stitch. Okay, so that begins to curl up at the end, and then you keep going all the way around. Don't bother increasing at the end again, because that will form the bucket shape. You just keep going round in a double crochet. Just go into the hole, okay, into the next one, and you just keep going, and you keep going round and round and round, because that will start to build up the bag, and it will start to make the kind of shape that we looked at. And you can use any colour and change the colour again if you want to at any time, simply by cutting the yarn and tying a knot to add something else in. Alright, okay, you can see how the shape is starting to work. So that will just go round and round and round, and when your bag is big enough you stop. And that's exactly how that one was done. So there's the bottom, and we just went round and round and round, and then you carry on with one side more than the other to make a flap if you want to, or simply have the bag without the flap on it. So however you want to do it, okay. And if you want to put a handle on, these are plaited. So three lots of yarn I think we've got here. No, we haven't. We've got 6 lots. So 6 lots of yarn you put together, and you plait it to the length that you want. Don't just use one. You want something nice and strong for the handle, and then you just sew the handle down inside the bag. Okay, so that's how you make that one. Oh, and the buttons, there we go. You can attach your own buttons, or just take 1, 2, 3, 4 lengths of yarn, tie a big knot in the end, and tie them around one of the stitches, big enough to do it, and it will just make a bobble button, which you can, there we go, just pop through like that. This one's used about 3 different colours of yarn, so up to you what you use. Okay, so that's the bag. And now we're going to move on to the poof, which does something slightly different. And just to remind you of what we're going to look at making here, it's the foot poof, or the big poof, which you saw earlier on. And this is worked slightly differently, using the same stitch, the double crochet stitch, but this is going to go round and round instead of in the longer bag shape that we created first of all. So you first of all make 2 chains. All right, now I want you to leave a long piece on here. In fact, I'm going to make that slightly longer, and you'll see the reason. Okay, so leave quite a long piece on there. In fact, let's start it. Here we go. Okay, so 2 chains. All right, so you do a double crochet. Right, you're going to go into the second chain from the hook, and you're going to do 8 double crochets into that one. All right, because what we want to do is to start a circle. So keeping that there into the same hole. Okay, keep it loose. 2, this is 3, and watch that slip knot if it tends to come a little bit loose there. 4, 5, still into the same one. 6, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so it's pushed it around. Don't worry about that end, that's useful for sewing up. Okay, so do one, let's have a look, one chain, which is making another one. I call this stepping up, because when you go up to the next floor, it's like walking up another floor in the building. It's like the staircase between two floors. It helps you to get up there. All right. Okay, so then you're going to do 2 double crochets into every single stitch, and that is starting, there we go, and that is because you're increasing. If you watch so it's into the same stitch, you take the yarn, it comes over, hook it through 1, hook it through 2. Okay, move on to the next stitch. Now, can you see you've already gone into that stitch there? So the next one will be the next one to that one. Oh, no, we've got one there, look. There we go, you can see by 2 have gone into there. Now you need 2 into this one. There we go. 1, 2. Okay, 2 into the next one, and that was that one. There's your next one. And over and through. Once it makes sense to you and your brain says, ah, I've got it, just keep working at it until the moment when your brain says, oh yeah, okay, I'm with you, I've caught up with you. Because people learn at different speeds and at different times as well. So don't worry about it. Okay, now some people learn in 5 minutes, some people take half an hour, some people a day, and it doesn't matter which. Okay, you've got round to the first one of your row, so we do what's called a single crochet, which means that you just take the yarn across and come through 2, just to join up the circle. Can you see? Ooh, it's starting to go into a circle. How exciting. Right, you step up next to the next staircase. Oops, well, you nearly do anyway. Okay, into the next staircase. All right, so now if you kept increasing in every stitch, it would really bubble up, so you don't want to do that. So this time you want to do 1 double crochet before you increase. Okay, so repeat that. Where's your next one? There it is. 1 double crochet. Oh, behave yourself. Grows so quickly though, doesn't it? 1 double crochet, okay, and then 2 into the next one. It's all to do with that tension and keeping everything under tension. 1, and then 2 into the next one. And 1 into that one, and 2 into the next one. And again, when you come round to the beginning, you just put a single crochet in there to join the ends up together. Okay, so we'll just go in another 1. Okay, and 2 into that one. And a single crochet just to say, okay, I've got to the end of the row and here I am. Right, on the next one you do, it's another increase. Now the last increase you did 1 double crochet and then 2 into the next one. So this one you're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches before you increase. Okay, so that's 2 singles and then a double. And if sometimes the yarn doesn't stretch because of the warp, don't worry about that. There you go, that's it. It doesn't matter if the hook comes off, because you can see what's going on. That's it. Okay, so 1 double crochet and into the next double crochet, and then you increase by doing 2 double crochets into 1. Okay, so that goes all the way around. Alright, in your next one you're going to do, it's 1 chain to go up to the next floor, okay, and then you're going to do one double crochet into the next 3. Okay, so before you increase, 1, 2, 3, and then you increase by doing 2 into 1. Okay, so you go all the way around with that. Okay, so you're going 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 and then 2 into 1. That's when you increase. Okay, then you should have, at the end of that, you should have 40 double crochets. 40 chains on your hook. Okay, all right, so after you've done that, let's just do a couple of those so we know where we are. Okay, right, now you're going to create the size of the poof. So when you're doing, if you're doing the small poof, you can see that you would just keep following the increase. All right, so you're doing 1 double crochet into 2 chains before you increase. Then on the next row you're doing it into 3 before you increase. So if you want to carry on making it bigger, like we do with the great big poof, this is brilliant. We'll probably be able to show you a shot of this on the floor. Then you just keep going round and round and round on it. Right guys, so you've done all of your increasing and you've now got 40 double crochets on the poof. We've cheated a little bit here and run ahead of you so you don't have to sit and watch a lot of things being done. But what you will do next is just 1 double crochet on every stitch no increasing now, because you're now going to decrease, so it'll start to pull the material in. So you're going to do 7 of those all together. So mark the place where you start, and remember, when you start your row, do a single crochet to join. So let's imagine that's the end of your last row. All right, you're coming up to the first part of the next row. Put your hook into the stitch, bring the yarn across, and hook the yarn through 2, and that's what we call a single crochet. Okay, all right, so you'll do 7 rows or 7 rounds really of doing the double crochet, and because we've skipped ahead, we are on the 7th, so we're just going to go round to show you. I am just going around to show you. All right, so your double crochet into the, I'm going to skip that one, and round. By the way, there is a difference, I gather, between American double crochet and British double crochet. I don't know if this is just an Ingrid double crochet, but when we say just go round with 1 double crochet into each hole, so it just put your hook into that hole, all right, bring the yarn across, take it through, bring the yarn across again, and hook it through twice. Okay, all right, so we're going to go round and do, I'm going to go round and do that. This is our 7th row, because remember, you need to do 7 rounds, or 7 rows I still call them. Okay, and because, as I said, there's no increasing here, then the crocheting stops getting bigger and it starts to pull itself in. Do you know, I just think that crocheting and knitting are just forms of, it's just physics really. So, by any other name. Sorry, I'm rattling a little bit there with the bracelets. Okay. So, 1 double crochet into each gap. Now you can, just a tip here, you can tell which one you've done, because there you go, that's had, that hole there has had a crochet into it, so go into the next one. Okay, so remember, you'll do this 7 times going round, so it is absolutely imperative, very important, that you mark the beginning of your row or your round, so you know where you've got to. Can you see it's beginning to form either a hat for a very big head or a poof, which you can put your feet up on. I've done it in 1 colour, most unusual, but that's the beauty of the big knit yarn, because it's got lots of different colours in it. Right, there we go. Okay, so we've got round to the beginning, and I'm just going to put a single crochet going into the stitch, yarn across, and hook it through twice. Okay, all right, so you can see the shape is beginning to happen. Don't worry about the hole in the middle, sew that up afterwards. All right, okay, so now what you're going to do is, you'll have, by the way, still 40 chains on there, so you can count them around just to check that you still have got 40 chains. If you find you're going to get more on there, if you suddenly think, oh, there's 45 there instead, please do not panic, just jump a stitch and put another one in. Okay, that's the nice thing about big knitting and big crochet, you can kind of just, you know, make it up a bit if you want to. It's fine. Make sure you've got 40 on, because Now you're going to divide for the opening at the bottom of the poof to enable you to stuff it. So we're going to do the first 20. All right, so, oops, sorry. One up, there you go, step up to the next floor, and then, okay, so that's 2. Oh no, it's not, it's 1. 2. All right, so you'll double crochet the first 2, then you miss one, okay? Don't go into the next hole, go into the next one. Okay, so you miss one, and then you're going to do 3 double crochet as usual, and that's 3. Okay, and then miss another one. So there's the next one, you miss it, go straight on to the next one. 1, 2, 3. So you're just repeating this sequence all the way around. There's the next one, miss it, and go into that one. Let me just see where the beginning is round there. So missing that one, going into that one. 1, 2. I said do 20, didn't I? Let's have a look. Okay, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You'll notice I'm counting these. Look, there we go. Okay, 17. And are we about, look at that, see the shape's great, it's a bowl, isn't it? Alright, and let's make sure that we have exactly halfway. Okay, and because I think I've done a little bit more than 20, I got carried away by it. I'm just going to undo that a little bit. Bear with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's it. Okay, I'll do it to there. See, do not panic if you do something slightly not right. Okay, so we've got 20. All right, now I want you to turn, all right, as if you're not going to complete the row. You're going to turn the work around, and you're going to do 1 chain, stepping up to the next row. Okay, you'll go 1 double crochet, come on, right, miss the next one, 1 double crochet into the next 2. So 1, 2. All right, miss the next one into the next 2. 1 and 2. Okay. Miss the next one. 1 and we're round to halfway there, I think. Let's just check. Oh no, go up to there. Okay. 1 and then 2. Oops. That's 1 and then 2. Okay, so we're going to turn again on there, and just check on that one and that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so just check all the time with the counting, and then you know exactly where you are. All right, so we need to go a little further there. Miss the next one, and 2, 1, 2, miss the next one, all right, turn it again, step up to the next row. Okay, so you turn and we step up, and this time you miss one into the next one. Miss one and into the next one. So you're just really pulling it in now. Miss one into the next one. Miss one and into the next one. Okay, miss one there and into the next one. Oh, missed that one. Miss one into the next one. Okay, and I know that's where I'm going up to. I've just pulled that to make sure that's, and okay, we would have missed one into the next one. Let's stop it there. Okay, so you turn again and repeat that. All right, you can see how it's really pulling it in there. So we turn, and we're almost at the end here. So miss one, sorry, that's that one, so you miss that one, miss that one and go into the next one. Just double crochets all the time, you don't have to worry about doing another stitch. Miss one and into the next one. Okay, so that's really pulled that in. I'm just going to check. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's fine. Okay. All right, so if you want to keep from having to count all the time, then you mark your stitch by the end of the row. All right. Miss one and into that one. Okay, it's really pulling it in. Okay, so we that's it. Just checking if it looks all right on both sides. Brilliant. There you go. Ooh, my cat would love it in there. All right, so and then you simply attach it to the rest of your knitting by one single, sorry, the rest of your crocheting. I get one lot like that, one lot like that. One lot means a single crochet. And somewhere I have a pair of scissors. So what you do is you cut your fabric, give yourself about that much, okay, and then just push the end through. I don't think I'm going to be able to break this. Let me just see if I can. Yes, I can. Brilliant. Okay. So take the hook out and just push the fabric through the last stitch. You have to wear bracelets. You have to rattle, by the way, if you're doing this, please. There you go. Right, that's that side. Right, then you rejoin the yarn, and we're just going to do that so quickly on the other side. So just join the yarn when I just tie it. Okay, just tie a knot. Don't worry about it sewing in or anything like that. And you're going to work on the opposite 20 stitches. So you make a chain, and this is where you've divided for the opening. So 1 double crochet into the next 2. Oops. Into the next 2. Right, you're going to miss 1, exactly the same as the other side, 1 double crochet into the next 3. This is doing exactly what you did on the other side. On the other side, sounds rather dramatic, doesn't it? Alright, miss 1 and then into 3. 1, 2, and 3. We do exactly the same, by the way, for our big poofs. Okay, miss 1, 1, 2, 3. So you'll just follow the same increase to make, that's 1, oops, to make a bigger surface. But it's exactly the same for the bigger poofs. 2, and 3. Okay, and miss 1, 1, 2. Doesn't matter if it's just 2. Actually, I think that's a. Oh no, no, it is 3. 2, 3. Don't worry about the what we call the stringy bit on it. It's just the warp. Okay, right. 1 chain to step up to the next bit. Turn it around, and we do exactly the same as the other one. 1 double crochet, miss 1, then 1 double crochet into the next 2. 1, and 2. Okay, miss 1, 1, oops, and 2, and miss 1, 1, and 2. I feel like I should be singing to you while I'm doing this. You'd hate me if I sang to you. Miss 1, 1, and 2. I can talk to you anything about clothes and colour, and of course big knitting and big crochet, but I can't sing. 2. Okay. Alright, step up to the next floor and return, and you miss. Okay, you miss 1. Oh no, have we done that one? Miss 1, 1 double crochet into the next one. Miss 1, 1 double crochet into the next one. This is where it's pulling it in really tight just to match the other side. Miss 1, 1 double crochet into, come on, the next one. Miss 1, 1 double crochet into the next one. If you do want to change colour, by the way, all you do is cut the yarn miss one. I think we're at the end there, aren't we? We are. Don't worry if your counting's not perfect, it doesn't absolutely matter. Stick another one on the end, it's fine. That's it. When you bring the warp through, make sure you bring 2 of those fabrics through. Right, turn it again, put a chain on, do exactly the same. Woohoo! We are nearly there. Okay, miss one, 1 double crochet, miss one, 1 double crochet, you miss one, 1 double crochet. I think we're at the end of the second side there. So 1 double. We pulled that in enough. We have indeed. Yeah. That maps that side. I'll take that one out. Okay. Let's put a single in there. That's it. It's really, you can see that that has just created the inside of the poof. All right. In the same way, just cut or tear the yarn, should you feel strong enough, and thread it through the last stitch, hoop thing. I don't know what you call it in crochet terms. There you go. Woohoo! There we go. And then I'm going to show you how to stuff it in a minute. Okay, so now that we've actually finished making the crocheted poof, I'm just going to show you very quickly how to stuff it. But there was one very important thing I need to say. That you may have noticed, more observant among you, that I'm no longer wearing lime green and orange, and part of that is because some of the filming took place before I went off to do a fair, and when I came back, well, it's all in the washing machine, so I can't wear it. And besides which, I got bored with one outfit, decided to put another one on. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on to the rest of the poof. So you can stuff anything into the middle of it. Like this one, we've just put yarn in, just to really stuff it. Because that's what we want. So just anything soft that you've got, stuff it into the poof. You can use it as a sock poof if you want to. Just put loads of socks in there, but anything which will just stuff into the poof and just fill it out. That's what you need to do. Okay. And just stuff it in there, just to give it body and shape, and stuff those into there. And you can see it takes quite a lot because there's stretch in wool, you see, so there's quite a lot there that you can put in, and you can probably put a little bit. Yeah, you can probably put a little bit more in. Actually, you see, if you have, there's a black there, so you don't really need to sew that up, but you can if you want to. So you can see that's quite substantial anyway. But if you want it to be, if you just happen to have very big feet, then you might need a very big foot poof. So just stuff more things in. Anything soft. Okay, so you can put your socks in there, as I said. You can put your kids in there if they're soft enough. You can put your husband in there if he's soft enough. Somebody else's husband, if you do happen to want to hide him, you can put him in there as well. But you probably need to make a big poof for that. So you just sew it up. All right, like so. So that, forgive the pun, you can release whatever's inside when you need to, whether you need to, you know, your kids need feeding at any time, or you fancy reminding yourself what your husband looked like. Okay. Alright, so you're just tucking it away, and literally all you're doing is putting the yarn under the stitch, okay, and then the other side under that stitch as well, and you're just pulling the sides in together, okay, and just do that right along to the end. And when you get to the end, which we will do in a minute now, then you just tuck the end away into the poof itself. You don't need to stitch anything, you don't need to do anything like that at all. Okay, so oops, there you go. So the end of it, all you do is push it a couple of times through a couple of other loops, stick it away inside, all right, so that when it comes to undoing it again, then you can do it quite easily, either to remove the contents or to wash it. So hide it away. There you go. And there is your foot poof. And you can put your feet up quite happily. Oops, there we go. Onto there. Quite nice actually. I think I might stay like that for the rest of the day. All right. Happy big crocheting. For breakfast, dinner, lunch and tea. How about dessert? That's free to finish. Sweet as sweet can be. Big knitting. I could eat spoonfuls of it every time.